Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, so Michelle came in today and said, hey, you got a package in the mail. And I thought my t-shirts that I ordered finally arrived. Nope, it's something else. Linda was asking my brother and myself for our addresses, and she sent us a copy of her autobiography. And it's signed. David, thank you for being such a joy. Blessings, Linda G. Oh, P.S. Your brother's weird. Thank you, Linda. Appreciate it. And no, that's not the Nazi symbol. That's the AOK symbol. Most of my audience is of a vintage that they know that. But it seems like Nazis are doing something like... I think that's with the middle finger. Anyways, thank you, Linda, for the book. Appreciate it. We'll be reading it soon enough. It'll now be on the back there on my computer desk so that people can see it. Ooh, maybe I'll prop it up. I'll make it like a little prop. How about like that? How's that? See, Linda's going to be looking over my shoulder for this reading. And this reading is going to be a little bit lighter. Probably a lot more laughter than you've heard in a lot of the other readings here. And it has to do with the concept of weird. And it seems to have started with Tim Walz. He went on a number of interviews and made an MSNBC appearance where he just started talking about the Republicans, and they're just weird. He said, and quote, like, these are weird people on the other side. They want to take books away. They want to go in your exam room. That's what it comes down to. Don't go sugarcoating this. These are weird ideas. And he had Joe Scarborough laughing off camera. And it's a word that resonates with a lot of people, especially young people. Because think about it, and I'm sure I will pick an amazing thumbnail for this video because there's too many choices. You think about the MAGA folks. You know, they're one of the pictures on like this article I have from Politico. It shows some guy trying to dress up like Uncle Sam with the Star-Spangled Hat, and he's got a bandage on his ear that says "Fight, fight, fight." There's like some other MAGA woman I've seen pictures of where she's wearing a diaper saying real men wear diapers. And she's like, look, I'm wearing a diaper. It's like these people are just, they're weird. And so the Democrats seem to have pivoted about saving the soul of the nation to these folks are weird. And the Republicans are kind of reeling with it because they don't know how to fight back against that, because it's an emotional attack, but a very simple one. And it's not like you can go to a Trump rally, look around and see normal looking people, because you got all these people in costumes and cosplay. Think about the during the insurrection, you had the shaman, the QAnon shaman with his Royal Society of Water Buffalo hat and his paint job going around shirtless. It's like, who the hell dresses like that? What kind of weirdo are you? And it's just weird. And they say weird stuff. So I want to look around the energy of weird that seems to be acting like a wave that it's like they don't know how to swim and they've just been dumped into the middle of a lake and they don't know what to do. And there's kind of a mild panic. First off, it's like they've gotten wet and they're angry, but then they don't know how to dry themselves off or move on from it because, well, they're always victims, and victims just sit there and wallow in their sorrow about their victimhood, and now they're being called weird for it and they don't have an answer. It's kind of funny. Entertainment purposes only. Let's talk about the weird factor. All right? Spirit, tell us about weird. Knight of Swords. This is something new, and it's catching fire. It's charging forward. It's a new idea charging forward. It's a really simple idea, and it's putting Republicans on their heels. Now, you can also say that the Republicans, especially the MAGA folks, now, I really should qualify it. When I say Republicans, what I'm really saying are Trump supporters, the MAGA. far and away the MAGA folks here. They're used to just saying whatever they want and not caring about the consequences, but this is like a consequence that's happening to them that they don't know what to deal with. Cross with the Nine of Cups. It's funny because I can read it both ways. For MAGA, they're used to just saying whatever comes to mind, and then being just sitting there all arrogant and smug, like, we were louder than you, therefore we're right. And facts are they're immune to facts, they're immune to arguments or something like that, because they don't deal. You can't have an argument with somebody and come to a conclusion if you don't have the same set of facts that you're working off of. So in some ways, the tables have been turned. We've got this new concept of weird that's being thrown to them, and now the folks that are calling the MAGA weird are sitting back, kind of smug, like, okay, prove me wrong. And it's. I'll give you an analogy, and I saw this several months ago. I think it was on TikTok. It was amazing, and you're going to love it. And I've shared this story at least once before. They took some flat earthers and put them in a room with anti-vaxxers. But the flat earthers weren't anti-vaxxers. They're just flat earthers. And they had the flat earthers try to have a conversation with the anti-vaxxers about the safety and the science behind vaccines. And the flat earthers were just stunned that no amount of facts, no amount of logical arguments could convince an anti-vaxxer person that vaccines were safe and effective. They were commenting, they're just impervious to facts and logic. And you sit there just nodding your head like, and make the connection, Mr. Flat Earther. You're the same way when we talk about flat earth. But it was just funny because they were so frustrated dealing with somebody who just could not deal with a set of facts. You couldn't find that common ground with which to build up off of. And it's kind of that thing with the weird. It's like, go on, you're weird. And, they can get all upset about it, but, they're the ones with the diapers on. They're the ones with the fake bandages on their ear. They're the ones with the Donald Trump flags. It's like, okay, explain to me how you're not weird. And they can't do it. In the past is the Queen of Swords. It's just, swords are double-edged. If you're going to act weird, you're going to be weird, and you're going to be called out for being weird. Nobody forced you to do this. Nobody forced you to be in a cult. You went into that cult willingly. And I think by attacking them emotionally, saying they're weird, it causes the MAGA members to pause for a second. Look around you. Do normal people dress up in an American flag overalls with a diaper on the outside and a Trump flag and think that's normal? Current situation is the Chariot. The concept has stuck. It came on quickly and it's stuck. And it's going to keep on grinding forward. They've lost the narrative. They can't fight this. This is going to go forward on it. Overarching energy is the Three of Swords, the heartbreak and the betrayal. Nobody cares about she lost. Nobody cares about your feelings. Get over it. The Hillary flags from 2016. No, she lost. Get over it. No one cares about your feelings. If you took that same flag, let's say it's a blue flag with white print, and you put a red X over the letter S in she, it changes to he lost, get over it, no one cares about your feelings. Exact same message. And if you were to say that to them, they would lose their minds. The Democrats are supposed to be the nice ones and you're not reaching out. You know what? Stop acting weird. You're being a weirdo. Their feelings are hurt. Vivek Ramaswamy was saying it's so immature, childish and immature to call people being weird. Dude, you're the leader of the weirdo brigade. You got weird ideas. You're supposed to be smarter than that, but you're going to go ahead and be like a parasite, like a tick off of Donald Trump. You get to be the weirdo too. You and your weirdo ideas. Lesson to be learned is the Queen of Wands. This may not be the only attack that comes on, but it's an effective attack. It's funny because they've got no defense to it. Double-edged sword, it's finally being activated. And the Republicans, or the MAGA folks, are at a loss. They don't know how to defend against this. Because they're weird. For some people, Hangman is about looking at things in a new perspective, or throwing somebody under the bus. For the new perspective point of view, for young people, or for people in general, it takes kind of the fear factor. It lessens it because you're mocking them and making fun of them. And I've talked about that before too, that a lot of times when things are stressful, we resort to humor, sometimes dark humor, to get us to laugh at situations. And it makes it a little less scary if you can laugh at it. So in some ways, that is part of this Hanged Man is, we're going to laugh at MAGA as opposed to taking them as a threat because they're weird. And it depowers them. And the fact that they don't know what to do with it is evidence that it kind of, emasculates them and takes away their power. Further, when you look at them, again, from the Hangman perspective, when you look at them, they are weird. They do weird stuff. They espouse weird things. They believe weird things. And they don't like it. They don't like it when you call them weird. But they don't have a defense for it. No, you're weird. All you do is look at them. What are you wearing? Is that a diaper you're wearing? Are you honestly wearing a diaper and an ear bandage on an uninjured ear? And you have a t-shirt that says real men wear diapers? And I'm the weirdo? You can see, it's just kind of like, it's humbling. It's kind of like that realization, the king, the emperor without the clothes on, and realizing that you're naked. It's that realization, like, oh, yeah, it looks kind of weird. You might ask your best friend, am I weird for doing this? And if you have somebody who's not full MAGA like you are, that might open a door. That might be another way to get folks out of this cult. Let's look into that. Will the Weird campaign help deprogram some of these cult members? Is it, it could just be the epiphany they need to get through there. Linda agrees with me. She's over there just nodding her head. Right, Linda? Oh, wait, I'll use my other hand. Oh, yeah, Steph, it's a good idea. All right. Will the Weird campaign help some cult members of Donald Trump have an epiphany? What's the energy around that? I would say that's a yes. Judgment, it's like they hadn't stopped. It's funny. It's almost like, if you can believe this, they hadn't stopped long enough to actually think about it. It's such a slow downward spiral that sometimes you don't realize how far you've gone. It's one thing you have Trump bumper stickers on your car and a Trump 2024 campaign sign on your front lawn, but now you've got a flag in front of your house. You've got an Uncle Sam outfit. You've got a real men wear diapers shirt. What? Oh God, what a combo. Judgment in the Moon card. Yeah, I think it's waking some people up to how weird and how strange they've been acting in the world card. And it's going to bring some of this weirdness to an end. You know, the Judgment is the second to last card, and here is the last card in the major arcana. It would not be surprised if we see the Fool card in here, maybe as an outcome for them starting their new journey. But it's almost like they're under a fever dream, and they're starting to wake up from this fever dream. It's bringing things to a close. How interesting. In the past, you had the Page of Coins. For a lot of the MAGA folks, they're just not... It's not that they don't have money. Being poor helps, you know? It's not that they don't have values, but having flexible values helps with getting sucked into the cult. But it's kind of like... They were primed for something. They needed something in their life. They didn't have an identity, and MAGA provided them with an identity. And as anything goes with like a cult, it starts off with a lot of people joining it, but then the cult is exclusive. You have to get rid of the rhinos. You have to get rid of the less pure and the less faithful. So they start spinning out. And what you end up with is a smaller and smaller core of fanatical people that are acting weird relative to non-fanatical people. They're at it, so, you know, they can get pulled in, but now they're at a choice. They're at a crossroads here. This is the first thing that's happened in 8 years that's going to cause them some pause and reflect on what they're doing. You know, maybe not the best analogy, but it's kind of like being, if you're like intoxicated and you're being obnoxious in public and somebody shames you for it, and you had that just moment of clarity in your drunken stupor. It's like, oh, yeah, I am being an idiot, aren't I? And then you just kind of shut up and you shuffle off, stagger off, and go home and sleep it off. I think that's what we're going to start seeing. I think we're going to start seeing people leaving the party and staggering home to go sleep off this drunken stupor that they're in. And then they're going to have to deal with the hangover the next day. Overarching energies, the King of Pentacles. They went from this naive idealism to being full court members, you know, just full-on members of Trumpism and MAGA. They started off, you know, with no identity, and this provided them with an identity. But again, the identity is associated with weirdness. Is that what you want to be remembered for? And that's the overarching energy, it's that contemplation of, oh my God, what is MAGA really getting me here? You know, maybe they last thing they want is to be called weird by a bunch of libtards, but you know, it's something that gets through the defenses. Lesson to be learned is the Two of Cups. Some of these folks, you have the Two of Swords at a decision time. I think some of these people, they're just intoxicated. You know, they've consumed the Kool-Aid that Trump has delivered, and they will drink deep from that Kool-Aid. There's some people that just aren't going to be saved. But others might talk with their friends. You know, again, going back to the weird drunk person at the party, they might go to one of their friends and just, you know, in a moment of clarity say, am I too drunk? Do I need to go home? And their friend, if they're a good friend, will say, yeah, it's probably the best idea. Don't worry about it. You know, don't worry about let's just go, and we'll worry about cleaning up later, but let's just get you out of here. So I do think that with this weirdness, some of these people are going to reach out to someone that they trust who is maybe not as weird as a MAGA person and get their opinions. Outcome is the Knight of Wands. You're going to start to see a slow withdrawal of MAGA. because they don't like being called weird. And it's funny because, again, they can go to a Trump rally and they can look around and, they can look at the people cosplaying and say, yeah, that person's kind of weird, something that, like, before they were just like, yeah, Trump 2024, rawr. But now they're going to look at that lady that's wearing the diaper, or the guy dressed as Uncle Sam with the ear patch on, and they're going to look at him and say, ew, why is that guy doing, why is he wearing that? Why is she wearing a diaper on the outside? It's just kind of like do people think we're like them? And that's really what it gets down to is, do people think that we're like them? And they're going to see just enough of those people that they're going to be like, you know what? Yeah, maybe we don't need to be here today. And you go home and you take that red baseball cap and your Trump 2024 Don't Tread on Me flag and you put it in a box in the garage somewhere. And, you tone it down a bit. You're not as brash online with it because you don't want to be thought of as the weirdo. Okay, spiritual lesson. I like how this is going. It's actually really interesting read to me. Spiritual lesson on this, a little four-carder. What's the spiritual lesson from the Weird campaign? What are we going to learn from this? And it's funny, isn't it? It's such a simple concept. And for 8 years, we've been not under a spell, but under threat. And the way to diffuse the threat is just, like middle school girl type energy. It's like, oh, you're weird. Or even elementary school type energy. It's like, yeah, don't listen to that guy. He's weird. And then all the kids will know that Donald Trump's the weird one. And you don't listen to him because he's the weird one. Why would you follow the weird kid? We make things so complicated. Spiritual energy on this. Four-carder, and we'll call it a day. You reap what you sow. The chicken's coming home to roost. The poison bush does not, gives you poison fruit. And there's the weirdo card. If you take this bush and you fertilize it with weird stuff, you're going to get weird fruit. Central underneath is the happy ending, happy families card. They didn't start off this way. If you were to ask a MAGA person what they want, they probably would say, oh, we want rainbows because it's gay. No, but they probably want to be happy. They want a good life for them and their kids. How is that different than anybody else? Anybody else, they want a happiness. They want their pursuit of happiness. They want their freedoms to love who they love. And if they want to have kids. And for young people, kids and young people to have a bright outlook in their future. It's not so different. But if you go about it in a cultish way, you're going to get a deviant fruit off of that bush. So you need to make wise choices. The divine feminine is here. And, you need to make good choices. You make weird choices, you're going to get weirdness out of it. You make wise choices, you get good things out of it. And underneath it all is the drunken brawl card. Ain't no brawl like a hillbilly brawl. We're in a lot of turmoil right now. But this turmoil got simplified in a very simple message that cuts through the bickering and the arguing. What is it that you want? Do you want to be a weirdo? Okay. Your life is going to be tumultuous in a weird way. You're going to make good choices? Okay. Your life's going to be better. It'll probably be busy. If you make good choices, life is busy. Because when you're making good choices, it means that you have to, you commit to it. And it could be a lot of work. But the work pays itself off with a positive reward, the fruit that you get. If you want to be a weirdo, you're kind of taking the lazy way out. But you're going to reap what you sow if you take the lazy way out. Okay? Work for you, Linda? Right on. Thank you, everyone, for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.